So this is four available specializations you can choose from. There is design thinking. There is business analysis. There is, here, why can't I hear anything? Hold on just a second. I just want to make sure that everybody is able to hear me. Hold on one moment. Okay. So design thinking, business analysis, digital marketing, and digital transformation. So design thinking is an important skill. It's not limited to the digital domain. It's based on the idea of empathy with customers and understanding how they're going to use your business product, your service. That can be your internal customers within your organization. So it's for redesign of internal processes as well. But it looks at business process analysis and redesign in an agile and iterative way, as opposed to the old style of analyzing a problem, designing a solution, implementing the solution, and thinking that you're finished. Design thinking recognizes that this is a continuous process. Business analysis is how you use data to gain insights into your business that can give you both um, insights into what has happened and also advice or direction on what will be happening and what you can do to influence that. Digital marketing, of course, is a vital way for businesses to communicate with their customers and um, present themselves worldwide now. We have organizations that can operate globally, even though they're physically rather small and local. And digital marketing is one of the huge tools for that. It allows smaller enterprises to compete with bigger ones, and it's vital to any business today. And my favorite example from the American market is how the fast food chain Wendy's has decided that they're in the digital marketing domain and have really leveraged their ordering application on mobile phones to transform how they communicate with, manage their customers, promote their products, and drive sales traffic. So even something as mundane as fast food is leveraging this kind of technology today. And finally, digital transformation, which is understanding the the very processes by which digital technology can change and improve your business, but also open up new markets, create new product opportunities, let you reach new customers, um, let you achieve new operational efficiencies. So all the aspects of how digital technology changes your business. And these are the orientations for this particular MBA program. So what you earn from the program is a MBA from International University in Germany. It is one of the leading institutions. We'll talk about that in a moment. You also get, at the same time, a Master of Science in International Business from London South Bank University. So you have covered qualifications in two of the EU countries. Actually, let me rephrase that, in an EU country and also in Great Britain, which is no longer in the EU. Um, but this gives you a broad coverage, international networking, and here's the advantage of working through IU to earn an MBA. It is Germany's largest university, although it is only about 40 years old. It has a great deal of experience in, I should say 20 years old. It has a great deal of experience. It's taught over 85,000 students so far with a very high satisfaction rate. And it has several campuses, including the two international campuses in Berlin and Bad Honnef. So you'll have opportunities to study at either of those if you choose that option. We have a question, so I'm going to take that question during our Q&A. And what makes IU stand out? It's double accredited by both Germany and the UK. So it gives you a very high quality of education as testified to by the 97% satisfaction rate. And it is focused on modern ideas of education in technology, in the digital domain, in all of the types of new ways of thinking that perhaps older MBA programs might not have caught up to. So one of their students here has spoken about her experience with a bachelor's program there and how effective and how comfortable that program was for her. It's also known for a global partner network. So it works with a number of companies and it gives you access to a network of potential employers. It has a great track record of helping people get employed. That's the orientation of this university. It is for training people for work and not pure academics. And here's an MBA international student who talks about the value of this education and the relationships, especially that it built for him. So, what makes London South Bank University stand out? Because it is a partner in the program, and it has been around far longer, about 100 years longer than IU Germany. It allows you to get that extra degree, which shows that you're very highly qualified and qualified, as I've mentioned, across both a EU country and Great Britain. So there's no extra courses, no extra travel costs. You won't be studying in England, but you will be earning your second degree there in parallel with the MBA. So we can show what learning looks like in IU. You've got your on-campus portal, you've got an online learning application. These types of things and the support of live virtual classes with instructors and professors gives you the opportunity to pursue this course completely online and finish all of the component courses within the MBA program. But let's talk about a little bit about how that can be adapted. So, as I've talked about, the key driver behind this program is career success. So, you're going to have services in parallel with your studies that talk about how to improve the quality of your CV and your cover letter, about how to prepare for interviews, how to look for and find internships and paid work that'll give you exposure to their company network of partners. And if you choose the on-campus option, you will be able to take German language courses. So that's a great way to get integrated into the opportunities in the EU. Here's the entry criteria. This is not for everyone. First off, the program that we offer through Simply Learn is available to Indian students only. Secondly, it requires that you have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 50% overall marks. You need to have an international passport if you're going to do the residential part of the program. You do need to pass an English test because the instruction will be in English. And you will have a work experience certificate. You must prove that you have worked 2 years since you got your bachelor's degree. That has to be in a particular form, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So do you want to do the 1 year or the 1.5 years? This is basically, we're talking about the 1 year program today, but you do have to have a bachelor's that is basically in a technical field. So here's the work experience certificate. You must have a letter from your employer that certifies what your job position and description has been, whether you've been working full or part-time, when you started and ended, and it must be officially signed by the company. So this shows that you have that minimum 2 year work experience. Of course, more is perfectly fine. So here's one of those polls I mentioned. Let us ask a simple question for you in the audience. How much experience do you have? Just like to get a feel for who is in our audience today. And we'll give you about 15 seconds to answer this poll. And we'll close this in about 5 seconds. And here's the poll result. About half of the folks in our audience today do have less than 2 years of experience. So this is something that you'll need to look at for when you've reached that 2 year mark. But the remaining part of our audience, people with 2 years experience going on up to very experienced people beyond the 10-year mark. So for those folks, you are eligible work-wise to engage in the program. And let's talk about how you do that. You start your application at Simply Learn, and I'll give you the email address for that a little bit later. Submit your documents. We will share them with IU Germany, and you'll receive your study contract. When you agree to that, you'll get your login credentials and get your online program started. So our next intake is July 22nd. That's when the next set of introductory classes and starts for this program. So this is something that you can start right away. But again, as I've mentioned, there's the option to do both online and in-person study in Germany. The next on-campus intake is October. What this works is a semester of online, so the 6-month online period, and then 6 months in Germany on campus. And this gives you the ability to learn directly from the IU Germany professors, and you get the international experience that is so valuable. Let's talk about Germany as a destination in Europe for study. It's, of course, reputed to have the best academic programs, some of the best in the world for centuries. It has the most powerful economy in Europe and the fourth most powerful in the world. It has a urgent need for technology graduates and managers. So you get the right to work for 120 full days during your studies, but you also get from the program an 18-month work visa that allows you to stay in Germany and work. So that gives you the opportunity to gain experience, but also the opportunity to apply for a longer term position there. So how learning that works on campus, you get basically the college experience. You're a postgraduate program. You're learning with peers who are at a very high level. You're again have access to a free German language course, so that you have the ability to integrate into the surrounding society while you're studying. And it's a great environment that lets you choose between two locations. One is Berlin, which is the capital of Germany, a thriving metropolitan environment, um, big city, very bustling, um, very exciting. Or you can choose to go into a rural environment in Bad Honnef, which is uh, outside of the big cities and gives you a chance to experience the more laid back European lifestyle. So you have the choice between the two. For application of on-campus studies, it's pretty much the same process, although there is an admission interview as well. And um, so there's an additional process of vetting you for the study place in the on-campus program. And this is something that you can choose to do, as I said, for your second semester of studies. So let's talk about the program fees. This program for the online version is 2,50,000, including taxes. We have no cost financing available for 8,299 a month. And as I mentioned, here is that uh, email address, which I will now put into the chat so that it's available for you without having to transcribe from the screen. There we go. So I've just put that into the chat so you can reach out to us for more information about the program and to enroll. So we have a basic question at this point. Is this program something that you'd be interested in? And I'll ask that poll right now. Are you interested in enrolling in the program? And again, 15 seconds. All right. So that's pretty impressive. Of the people that have answered, 86% said that they, yes, would like to um, enroll in this program, which is very encouraging. So now I can take some questions from the audience. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment while I access the questions in the chat and Q&A. One moment. Here I am. So bear with me while I look through some of your questions here. Biotechnology graduate. You should inquire at the email address to make sure that this is appropriate for you. If you're in a technology field, even if it's biotechnology, that should be a, a qualification that should qualify you for the program. We have a question from Love Kush who asks, do we have any placement assurance in this program? This is not a job guarantee program, Love Kush, but it does offer, as I mentioned, the placement services that help people learn how to become employed gives you the resume or CV reviews, gives you interview training, gives you networking. So those things are available to help you get that job. And if you choose the in-person study version of the program, you do get to qualify for work as long as you're able to get the work visa. You're qualified to work in Germany for 18 months. So, a question from Ezra, who asks, what about volunteering activities for more than 2 years? Um, and would that qualify you for the 2-year work experience? Again, this is a question that I would direct to the folks at by sending the email, who will contact um, IU Germany and ask directly for you in that regard. That depending on which organization you've been volunteering for, that may definitely qualify you. How to get a full funded scholarship? We don't actually offer bursaries or scholarships for this program. We do offer the financing option. Um, to what Bonsky asks, Samuel Bonsky asks, to which level of German language would IU teach? So it's going to be a fairly basic conversational level. It's not required for the instruction, but it's to allow you to interact with the people in Berlin or Bad Honnef if you're studying there. Total, yes. So, with Barrage, okay. Total fees for the on-campus version, you would need to check with the um, IU at simplylearn.net email to get the full fee structure for the on-campus option. Do you have on-campus options for LSBU? No, the on-campus option is for IU Germany. The program is in conjunction with LSBU. Of course, if you're in Germany, traveling to the UK is fairly straightforward. And if you want to visit the campus at London South Bank University, you can, but you aren't given access to classes on campus. The CV sample. I think that question is best directed to the email address, but you have, if I understand it, it's either you're asking about the qualification letter, which is fairly straightforward. We covered that, or the prepared CV that they'll coach you to produce, and that's a separate question that you should ask through the email. 80% of jobs need at least 82 level proficiency in German language. That's probably so, and that's one of the reasons why the German language option is very important. Can we speak to somebody who has graduated through the program, working, and who's also retired? We'll attempt to get you some testimonials of that type. I haven't got them with me here today, but that's a good thing to ask for, Sanal. I'm sorry, Sanat. And those who take the online program can also work for 18 months in Germany. The German work access comes with the residential part of the program. So you do have to take the version where you do the semester of study in Germany in order to qualify for that. I have more. Shubham asks about backlogs in bachelors. So I think you need to clear enough of those backlogs so that you can demonstrate that you finished the credits that are required and have the 50% or better marks that are required. So I wouldn't try to go into the program with too many backlogs. Over to the other stream here. Okay. I have a question from somebody who's enrolled and is waiting for their login credentials. I will pass that on to our team and make sure that you are given the access. Working in a global organization, Simhachalam asks, if you choose the second term on campus, do you need to take a break in your work or can you continue? You will need to take a leave from your work in order to take classes in Germany, unless your work allows you to work remotely from there. But if you're doing in-person work that requires you to be in an office, you won't be able to be in two places at once. So is there a difference in the on-campus versus the full online course? Not necessarily in the content. Full online course gives you complete qualification. There are certain other advantages to the in-person study aspect, which allow you, as I mentioned, to get access to the work visa. It gives you the experience of living in another country, encountering the other culture. We'll try to get you information, Ramesh Kumar, on the placement rate for previous batches. But again, that should be available through the iu.germany@simplylearn.com contact point. Arvinda asks an important question. To be part of this program, you may have to quit your current job. If you are taking the fully online version, you should not have to quit your current job. You should be able to accommodate that within a work schedule. That's a doable proposition. If you're taking the in-person option in Germany, you should be able to work part-time and earn funding for your livelihood. Again, this is something I would take up through the email contact so that they can put you in touch with somebody who can advise you better. Ram asked a question about getting a student visa and the process of doing that. That is another question that you would want to ask through the iu.germany email address. Okay. What's the prerequisite for eligibility for work permit in Germany? So if you are in the program, my understanding is that this qualifies you for an 18-month work permit to remain in Germany after the program is over and continue to work there. Is the program fee is for the 60 ECT version. So this is the 1 year and not 1.5 year version of the MBA. So Venkat, that's the answer to that question. And is this MBA recognized by ICAS Canada? I can't answer that definitively, but it is a fully accredited MBA program. So it should be recognized by all official bodies worldwide, as it's from a leading German university, fully accredited, and so this is not a fully online university that doesn't have that background. This is, again, you're earning a dual degree, so you're getting the MBA from IU in Germany, and you're getting the Masters of Science in International Business from LSBU, and both of those are fully accredited institutions. And I think that's getting to the end of our questions. Is there any age limit? That's a good question. Again, there is no age limit. Age is not a factor in the entrance or matriculation requirement. Um, Job placements in Germany, again, I will ask you to contact through iu.germany@simplelearn.com to get information about that. And can you complete a module of the third semester? This is the 2-semester program, so let's be clear about that. Can you switch between specializations if you want to change it? Within reason and depending on how far into the program you are, you may have to retake certain material if you want to switch specializations because you may not have gotten the preparatory courses for the new specialization if you've been focusing on a different one. So that's a case-by-case basis. And when we do the follow-up email, we will be sending a link to the recording of this presentation, and I'll try to see if I can send a PDF of the slides as well. So with that, we've pretty much covered our list of questions. Can we choose multiple specializations as some of them work together? Where there's overlap, generally each specialization contains elements of the other related and overlapping specializations. So this is it's not necessarily to do a dual specialization, but you can ask about whether you're allowed to take additional courses to gain more breadth in the program. Do we accept teaching experience as job experience? If you've been working as a teacher for an institution, that's work experience. So it depends on your situation, but yes, that should be fine. And does this make you available or eligible rather for further studies like a PhD program? This makes you eligible for anything that requires a postgraduate degree. So it's a MBA. It includes the Masters of Science in International Business. And so depending on what PhD program you're applying for, these should demonstrate that you have completed postgraduate degrees. So it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get into a PhD program, but it is the natural step along that progression if you're looking for a PhD in business, such as a Doctor of Business Administration. At what point do you need to choose the specialization? I think you can choose the specialization after you've started the program, gotten a feel for what you want to get into, and then you can see and talk to people about the different specializations, what's included in the coursework for each, and get their advice on that as well. 4 years of graduation or 3 years is acceptable. Actually, the number is based on the number of credits you've earned. So if you've earned a bachelor's degree with the sufficient number of credits, if I go back to that slide, I'm going to tell you what that is. You need to have a basic 210 ECTS credits in your degree program. So if you've done that, that would be fine. Distance graduation is acceptable if you graduated from a distance learning program in a qualified college or university, got a recognized degree, and have had 2 years of work experience, that should be acceptable. So, and with that, I'm going to move on to our last question. Our last question for you, that is. And this is a polling question for the audience. So let me pull that up. And get polling. Sorry. Didn't want to flash through all those slides for you. So I'll pull up the last polling question for you. Pretty straightforward. So for the 86% of the people who said, yes, I'm interested in enrolling in this program, when do you see yourself doing this? Is this something that you want to do immediately, like perhaps for that July entry date? Is it something that you want to do later down the road? For example, for the folks who do not yet meet the 2-year work experience mandate. Just getting a feel for that. And full results. So here we go. Order of you said immediately. And so please do email the Germany at simplylearn.net email address to get started in that process, get your final questions resolved, and get your enrollment started. The people who are planning to do this within 3 months, I would recommend the same thing. Start with the email today so that you can get the information you need and get information about future enrollment dates. And that way you can plan ahead. And for everybody who's looking at a longer term, please, I still recommend you email us so that you can get in touch, get information about how to keep informed about the program, and monitor your particular situation until you're ready. So with that, we'll say thank you very much. Leaving on here the IU Germany at simplylearn.net email address, which comes to us. You can also contact Shrutika Joshi from IU, and she represents them in India as well. So you have that contact information. And I will give you in the chat window the link to our IU Germany email again, as well as a link to the course page on our website, which will allow you to take a look at some of the other basic information about the program, get some questions answered. And that's in the chat for you right now. And with that, that takes us to the end of today's session. I want to thank everybody being here today. I want to thank everybody for being here, whether or not you're at present qualified to join the program. I hope this was an informative session. You can contact Simply Learn to find out about other options for other programs outside of India. And you can also find out about other Simply Learn certification and training programs for digital technology and related skills. So please do contact us, and thank you again for being here this evening.